We're aware that Thai Union, which is one of the world's biggest seafood companies, is exporting slave-tainted and human rights abuse-tainted products around the world, including to New Zealand. Over the last few years, there's been more than 6,000 tonnes of products from Thai Union alone. And we know that in 2015, there was more than 600 tonnes of seafood products from Thai Union into New Zealand companies. In terms of human rights abuses in the fishing industry, it's an endless list. The labour conditions are poor, we know that. Human trafficking is a huge issue, we know that. That's well documented. There are all sorts of terrible things happening at sea, whether it's just the terrible lack of food, the living and sleeping arrangements, but worse than that, some of these guys are subjected to terrible violence, bordering on torture. And they've spoken to us about being shot. One guy in particular that we spoke to, who works on the distant water fleets, told us that his captain used to shoot his crew with a slug gun when he wanted their attention. So he'd fire that at them. So those sorts of things happen, and of course we know that there are many, many deaths at sea, and most of them are often murders. The circumstances and the conditions that the fishermen that we met were dealing with were quite varied. Some were perfectly happy and comfortable with their conditions. Others were being treated abysmally. Here in New Zealand, you wouldn't have animals living in some of those conditions.